you people back in the Shire, turn your porch lights off because we're coming home with a trophy.
Hey there, welcome to SharkCast Pod, a podcast dedicated to the greatest sporting club in the history of the world, the mighty Cronulla Sharks. My name is Sam Shinazzi. I'm an OG from 2015. Haven't done one of these for a while, one of these podcasts where I drive around and tell you my thoughts about the greatest club in the history of the world. But I can tell you this episode is brought to you by Dyson Logistics, the Royal Motor Yacht Club Import Hacking, and Jason Hawes at Cripps and Cripps Real Estate. And we are the mighty Sharks, and we won 16 points to 12 over in New Zealand on Friday evening. And I've got to say up front, apologies if this audio is not quite as pristine as usual, but that's the price we are going to pay for the way I'm currently recording. And also, I don't have my stats and info in front of me. A lot of it's going to be off memory, and we'll catch up and all that kind of thing in the following episodes during the week. And there will be episodes during the week because it was just a fantastic win by the Sharks. Boy, oh boy, down 12-0, looking pretty ordinary in defence. In attack, just spilling the ball and not doing much with it. It got a lot better after that, thankfully. The team was 1-18, so to speak. We saw a very fast start from the Warriors. It was quite worrying at times in the opening 15 minutes or so. The tries they scored looked pretty easy against us. But the resilience we showed from about the 15-20 minute mark to half-time was really encouraging to me. And I was telling anyone that would listen to me, around me, and who were contacting me that, no, because Ramian scored that try from dummy half, we're still in this. And even more so because we defended so well from the time of the Warriors' second try. I think it was Luke Metcalf's second try. After that, we really knuckled down. We really defended well. A lot of grit, and that's the word of the year, grit. Hashtag grit, capital letters, grit. Want to see that trending. To a man, they just defended their butts off, and then in the second half started really fast. And you could tell straight away that the coaching staff was into them. I'm sure the senior players were into them. And already from the first set, it was go time, and we saw some nice tries down the left edge specifically, with some really great work from Talakai in particular. The try that he scored, I think it was the second try in the second half, the last try, where Ronaldo, he sets up Ronaldo, and then Ronaldo gets the offload. Talakai's on the ground, gets up. It looks like a small effort. It's a massive effort for him to score. The Sharks hold off the Warriors, who were finishing pretty strong in the final 10 minutes or so. Again, defended so well and really ground out a nice defensive winning game. And when you look at the stats, they had absolutely no right to win that game, but they just hung in there. Some really odd calls for both teams, I thought, from the refereeing officials, but it's a pretty good game for a neutral. I thought it was a good game for Sharks fans. I know a lot of you online were getting a little bit upset early on, making some big, bold declarations, and that's your entitlement to do that. But you watch the 15 to 20 minute mark onwards in the first half, and that shows you where you want to be throughout the year defensively. Just scrambling, strong defense, good reads. That was my big takeaway from the game, was defensively, they looked really good. And I know in the first 10 to 15 they didn't, but the Warriors didn't concede a point after that. So once they knuckled down, it was all okay. I think it's definitely one of the better wins in a long time, years and years and years, for lots of different reasons. Still missing some muscle up front, down 12-0, young 5'8", leading them around, and a pretty good Warriors outfit. We shut them down. RTS shut down. Great overall performance. A lot to work on, don't get me wrong. Lots of things to work on. But if that's your round one performance, and let's not forget, we don't win round one games. Just a tremendous effort all round. Super happy with that. Haven't been that happy about a win for a long time. I've got to say it's been a bit of a strange week for me, and stuff's been going down, and my mind's been elsewhere, and the thing about this great game, and particularly our great club, is that, in times of trouble, times of worry, times of stress, when things like this go our way, it really does take the heat off for just that 80 minutes at least. And I was really thankful to the club for putting on that performance. If they had lost in the last minute or two, absolutely would have been disappointed. But to show that determination to come back, I was really impressed. So hopefully that's what we're going to see all year around. The team as individuals perform really well. Probably one blemish there throughout, which we'll get to, but Will Kennedy, man, he was strong throughout that game. He saved our butt a number of times defensively. In attack, he looked great, some really nice breaks. Really happy with Will Kennedy. I haven't done my 3-2-1s yet, but I think that he'll figure. He was great. In fact, the back five really impressed me. Ronaldo Militalo had an excellent game. He had an excellent game. You could see it in his carries, and defensively he was great, and a tough, strong attitude without getting too silly. Great game from Ronaldo. Jesse Raymond was fantastic in defense on RTS. Shut him down, I think, every single time, and made some really nice meters as well. Scored an important try. Great game, Jesse Raymond. Talakai was unbelievable. Talakai carried that team at times when no one else was going to do it. Talakai is probably the man of the match. Set up tries, scored tries, ran just as far as he could, and I thought defensively was fine as well. So, huge rap for Talakai. I thought Katoa was good, made some nice runs defensively. I didn't see too much go wrong, and got stuck into the hard yards when needed. Braden Trindle was tops, loved it, thought he was rock solid, great kicking game to help out Nico. And I think he kicked for about 200, 250 metres, a couple hundred less than Nico, but some really important kicks from Trindle. I think if he performs that way week in, week out, we're going to be pretty happy with him. Nico Hines, maybe a quieter first half. He looked really, at times, a bit rattled, quite aggressive in the way that he played, which I actually enjoyed. Second half, really great effort. Great tackle at the end to stop a potential try, match-winning try. And overall, strong kicking game. They do like to get pretty close to that edge when they kick the ball, but Nico, I thought, was great. I think I read online there was a few issues, people talking about him, but I thought he was solid. I thought Trindle maybe a little bit better, but I thought Nico was really important in that second half in particular, and quite happy with how he went. I need to rewatch it, of course, which I will, but I thought the halves were absolutely way better than the Warriors halves. The Warriors half went to bed after 12-0, so good on the Sharks halves for really just grinding it out. Our forward pack at times was dominated, but as we hinted in the podcast during the week, because the outside backs were kind of helping them out quite a lot, it didn't matter overall in the grand scheme of things. Obviously, you want your forward pack just to be winning the wrestle every single time, but we are missing some strike power there. I thought Oregon Kafusi was serviceable and did a decent job. Had an error towards the end of the game, but I thought that his meters were good when he made them. I think he'd be a bit more dominant than what he was, but I thought he was decent. Blake Brayley ran a bit more than we've seen in the past. He was a bit busier in this game. I know he had a pretty bad missed tackle on future Shark Adam Fanua Blake, who, by the way, was pretty good. And hello to my Insta friend who pointed that out to me. Thank you very much. But I don't know. Who's not going to miss a tackle on that guy? I thought Blake was solid. Not man of the match. Not the worst out there. I thought he was good. I thought he was busy enough. There was enough there for me to see he can improve on. Royce Hunt, a fairly unhappy game. I think we can all admit that. Some key moments that he liked back. Not sure if it was a case of just coming out of the gates too quick, too soon, too hard, and just getting it wrong. But both stints were not great. I would suggest that he'll be watching a bit of tape in the coming days. Happy to give him another shot. He had some okay runs in the second half that got us out of our yard, but he's got to watch that offload for starters. and he's got to protect that ball. Not putting a line through him, it's one game. He can be a dominant prop for us. Both second rowers I thought were good, especially Teague in his comeback game. Really some hard yards out of our own end from Teague. And Britton was mostly excellent as well, as you would imagine. And he's pretty quickly becoming my favourite Shark. McInnes starting the game at lock, captain, very strong in his own way, and did exactly what you expect him to do. Dale Finucane off the bench probably had the least minutes out of the team. Probably him and Hunt had the least minutes. Unfortunate error for Dale with one of his first touches. Other than that, I thought him off the bench worked perfectly fine. It wasn't front page newsworthy performances from him, but he was solid. And I think off the bench might be the way for Dale to go. He comes on, brings what he does, and I think, take that error away from him, and I think it can work. Jack Williams came on for Royce Hunt quite early in the game, and overall, a very solid performance in his 100th game. There was one error there, which I'm sure the internet blew up about. It wasn't the greatest of passes to him, and really like what Jack did. He's a hard-working dude, and let's get that contract happening for him. Toby Rudolph off the bench was a revelation. I thought Toby was fantastic. He was so good in his hit-ups, defensively looked great, and really busted his gut, and I really appreciate that. And I thought Toby was one of our best out there. And if that's how he's going to perform week in, week out off the bench, then I'm super happy for him to do that. We might need to tinker with Royce Hunt starting, depending on what happens in the next month or so, but Toby Rudolph was excellent, I thought. Just excellent. And I'm critical of Toby when he's not at his best, but tonight he was at his best, and it really, really lifted the team. Tall Tom Hazelton, thought was really solid. I liked what he did. I think sometimes his hit-ups can be a little bit pedestrian if he hasn't got a good enough run-up or if he's just a bit flat-footed. Overall, I thought Tom Hazelton was really a great contributor to the team. I like him being out there. He's only going to get better with experience. Didn't do too much wrong for me, Tommy Hazelton, so well done to him. Man, overall, just a really remarkable result. Performance-wise, heated up after the first quarter of the game, so to speak, and never really stopped. It's a performance to build off for the coming weeks and months, and it just gets us out of the danger zone already. We're 1-0. We're coming home to play the Bulldogs on Friday night next week. I'm not suggesting it's going to be a walk in the park, but it's not a bad way to start a game at home against a team that you're expected to win. And I think if we play like tonight, we will win, and that'll be great. And then we just keep marching on. I'm not banking him up just yet, but I'm just saying the relief for winning your first game, which you don't usually do, already things are a tiny bit easier, and it's fantastic. And well done to everyone involved. I know some of you listening were at the game because I saw your messages online, which I will get to. There's a stack of mail already to get through. I can't do it right now, but we will get to it. We'll get to your thoughts. We love the fact that you listen to our show. And I know I sound all kind of weird and emotional and wired in the middle of the night, but that's how I'm feeling. And we appreciate you listening to our show. We appreciate you communicating online with us, spreading the love, spreading the joy, spreading the hope, and spreading the show, most importantly, letting people know about the show. All of your followers and your subscribers and your friends and mates and family, they see when you repost, they see when you write things, and we really appreciate it. On behalf of everyone who's involved with SharkCast Pod, it's not just me, we appreciate it. So cannot thank you enough for your listenership, for your loyalty. Stick with us, it's going to be an awesome year, and I promise we will make it fun for you as well as hopefully enjoyable. That's about all I got for you right now. SharkCast Pod. Hit us up on the socials at SharkCast Pod. Subscribe, like, comment, email, sharkcastpod@gmail.com. We do have a YouTube page now, which is fairly busy. It's not going gangbusters, but the more eyes on it, the better. I did get a bit of a funny comment during the week about the fact that I think only a small number of people had watched a video, in inverted commas, that we put up. We don't usually post videos. All of our listeners are audio-based. Yes, we're going to try and get some more listeners through YouTube. It's going to be a slow build. Believe it or not, we're on the TikTok, and I am very new to that. I'll probably not have a lot of time to dedicate too much to the TikTok, but the few posts we've done on there seem to go really well, so it's worthwhile. Always trying things, trying to promote the show. End of rant. Up Cronulla. Let's go. Safe travels to everyone coming back from New Zealand. We will talk to you soon.
Up, Cronulla, the boys in the black, white and blue. Up, Cronulla, name of the Sharks with you. Sharks, forever, go out and play without fear. Now's the time to see good football.